Welcome to this total body strength workout for your menstrual phase. This workout is ideal for your late flow days or even after your flow has ended, kind of in the latter part of your menstrual phase. It's for when you don't quite have the explosive energy as you do in, say, the follicular or the ovulatory phase, but you have a little bit of strength that you're wanting to cultivate and a little bit of room for challenging your muscular endurance and strength. We're using intervals in this movement practice, but not for speed. It's more so that you can focus on your form and you're not having the cognitive load of counting reps. So all you have to do is focus on each rep at a time. You're not really too worried about how many you're getting. I would encourage you to go with a bit of a heavier weight, one that challenges you so that you're really pushing toward the end of the interval for those last few reps. We're also doing some glute activation using a band. I have a fabric band that I like to use, but if you don't have a band, you can always use an elastic headband or even a sports bra to create just a little bit of resistance to help the glutes activate. That'll create a stable foundation for the rest of the workout. As always, this workout has a warm-up and a cool-down included, and they're broken into 3 distinct parts so that if you're coming in warm, your body's ready to move, you can always skip the warm-up and go straight to the workout portion of the practice. Likewise, if you're looking to really save on time and you want to transition in your own way to the rest of your day, or maybe you have a meditation that you like to practice, feel free to skip the cool down at the end and just stay with us through the core workout portion of the practice. Bring a towel and water, have a soft surface. We're doing a lot of grounded work with the weights so that, we're still kind of nurturing the menstrual phase. We're doing a lot of kind of closer to the earth movement patterns. So have a soft surface beneath you and make the practice your own. I'll give modifications where appropriate, but most of these movement patterns are very low impact and you can adjust them to suit your needs. I'll see you on the mat. We'll begin our warm-up with a seated body scan. So find whatever your most comfortable seat is. If you like to have a cushion or a different shape with the legs, just get into that position that feels comfortable, where you can rest for a few moments. You might even close your eyes or let your gaze be very soft. Let your breath flow naturally, and as you start to bring conscious awareness to your breath in and out through the nose, just scan your body from head to toe, picking up on any information along the way that your body might be trying to communicate. Maybe as simple as a bit of a dull ache or maybe some contraction you might feel in a shoulder or a hip, maybe the low back, depending especially on the time of day that you're enjoying this practice. And just really use this as a gathering exercise so that you can carry whatever you need to into the movement practice. If your eyes are closed, let them gently open. We'll begin several breaths with spinal rolls here. So as you inhale, offer the heart up and forward as you gently tug on the knees, broaden across the chest. And then exhale, round the spine, draw your chin to your chest, belly button toward the spine. Inhaling, open, create space in the chest, the heart. And then as you exhale, roll in, feel that pull of the belly toward the spine. Last time like this, inhaling and exhaling. So we're really just awakening the spine, creating some movement before we pick up the weights. From here, we'll transition to a child's pose. Let your knees come wide apart, big toes touch, and then slowly soften your hips toward your heels. Let your inner thighs be close enough that your outer ribs can rest comfortably there. You might release your forehead to the mat or even pillow your hands. Then we'll start to work into the lateral plane, walking your hands over to the right. Really root down. Left sitting bone toward the left heel to create an anchor point so that you can stretch all the way along the left side. Switching here, walk the hands over to the left. So really radiating in all directions, creating space, coming back through center here. And create a bit of a flow, a bit of movement, expanding on one of our favorites, cat and cow. As you inhale, soften the belly, gaze up, send the sitting bones back. On your exhale, round in cat. It's a very typical movement pattern here. Inhale, find cow. And this time, as you exhale, tuck your toes, exhale to downward dog. You might pedal out the feet here just for a breath. And then with your next inhale, knees touch down, cow pose, soften the belly, gaze up. Cat pose, exhale, round through the spine, press through your hands, chin to chest. Inhale, cow pose, soften the belly, gaze up. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Just a breath or two here. On your next inhale, knees touch down. We'll enjoy one more round like that. Cow pose. Shine the sitting bones back. Exhale, round the spine. Press through the hands. Create space in the back of the heart. Inhale, cow pose. Offer your heart forward. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is our last moment here in downward facing dog. So really enjoy it, especially if you favor yoga as your movement style. And just really create the space here in downward dog that you need to create strength in the rest of our workout. Gently walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Keep a deep bend in the knees as you slowly roll up to standing. And with your next breath, you're ready to move. We'll transition to the workout portion of our movement practice. So as we get ready to start our workout, make sure that you have a band or some type of elastic handy. You can also do the first part of this practice without the band and just use body weight only. Also make sure that you have a pair of medium to heavy weights. We are using intervals, and you might have caught it in the intro, not for speed or for creating high intensity, but more to just remove the cognitive load that can come with counting reps. So instead you can just focus on each rep one at a time on your form, your mechanics, and your breath. So we'll get started here in about 15 seconds. So you can take your band, place it just above the knee. Our first movement will be a butterfly hip abduction. So you'll bring the inner edges of the feet to touch and bring your heels close to your sitting bones. And from here, we'll simply lift the hips and send the knees out and lower down. So we're here lifting, really feel the glutes activate, abduction and down. Here we go. So again, here we're just using the interval timer so that we can focus on the movement pattern without having to count reps. So use your breath, use that space, the mental space that you have to create a mind-body connection instead. You should start to feel the glutes activate quickly here, particularly with the butterfly arrangement in the legs. 3, 2, 1. And our next movement pattern in about 10 seconds. So we're doing 50-second intervals with 10-second rest, since we're not really moving into high intensity here. So our next one is we're staying lifted, legs and feet are parallel, and we're just stepping out with alternate legs. So keep the hips elevated the whole time, and as best as you can, the knees stay level. They're just moving out. So rather than lifting up and out, just stay nice and level in the horizontal plane. Keep the belly hugging in, really press into the backs of your arms so that you can keep the work and tension out of your shoulders. So you're creating a stable foundation in the upper body so that you can really focus on integrated movement and activation in the lower body. 3, 2, 1. Let the hips come down. Bring the inner edges of the feet together. Outer edges of the feet on the mat. Hug the heels toward your sitting bones. Once again, butterflies with the leg press out. Here we go. Lift up, press out, and down. Lift up, activate, press out, and down. And if you're feeling like you want to pick up the pace, as long as you can do it without losing the mechanics and the form, you can make this a bit quicker so that you're keeping the activation in the glutes for the full interval. So up and out. Press through the knife edges of both feet evenly and the backs of the arms. Find a comfortable position with the hands so that you're not exerting any excess effort. We're focusing here on the glutes. 3, 2, 1. So back now to alternating legs. So the feet, knees, hips are parallel. And as you're ready, lift the hips. And we're just here stepping out one side and then the other. Out and back. Here we go. Use your breath. And really see if you can focus on lateral movement here so that we're targeting the same portion of the glutes as in the first movement pattern. This is our second round here. We have one more round of this movement pair before shifting into back and chest. You might feel a bit of heat in the legs. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. You might gently tuck the hips, the pelvis under. 3, 2, 1. Find that butterfly shape. Lift and press the knees out. We're here. Last round. So you'll notice that even just a little bit of resistance can help you activate the glutes. And you can create that mind-body connection. So as you lift at the top of the movement, really squeeze into the glutes before pressing the knees out. So there's sort of two distinct actions in the movement pattern. It does require a bit of concentration so that you can get the most out of your workout. 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to our alternating legs here. Legs, hips, knees are parallel. As you're ready, lift up. So keep the head and neck neutral, gazing toward the ceiling. Relax your jaw, your neck and shoulders. Sometimes I find it helpful to really press into the backs of the arms so that I'm not holding any tension in the shoulders. You might notice the glutes starting to fatigue a bit. And notice if you can you hug the belly in, create integration for the movement pattern so that you don't start to feel this in the low back or anywhere but the glutes. Last few here. And 3, 2, 1. Give your knees a gentle hug. We've just got 10 seconds here. Grab your weights. I'm going to keep my band on just to create a little bit of awareness. We're coming into a chest press with rotation. So coming down and then rotate as you press up. So lower down and rotate as you press up. We're just here. And if you like, you can always add a bit of core engagement by lifting the knees to a tabletop position with hips, legs, thighs parallel. But really focus this work in the upper body for this pair of movement patterns, this pair of exercises. We're here for 3 rounds, 50 seconds on, 10 seconds just to transition. Here we go. And rest. You'll release one weight down. Then we're moving into a dumbbell pullover, straight arms. So you'll start nice and low, and then you'll lift the weight overhead and pull down. So here we're targeting the back muscles, the lats. Keep the low back pressing into the mat. And pull. So this is equal and opposite actions in these movement patterns. We've got pressing with the chest press, pushing, and then pulling now. Use your breath, inhaling to send the weight overhead, and then exhaling to pull down. You can use forceful exhales to release heat. And discharge any energy that you don't want to hold on to. And rest. Grab your second weight once again, moving into our chest press. You can have the knees in table if you like. Here we go. Lower down and rotate on the way up so that your wrists face each other. So you'll know if you've selected a heavier weight, you should start to feel that the last few reps of the interval are pretty challenging. It's not just something you can breeze through. And if you went with lighter weights, you can always create a bit more challenge by slowing the range of motion. So really, particularly on the descent, slowing it down so that you stay under tension the entire way down. So you have sort of two working phases of the movement. And here we go. Release the weight down. Coming into our pullovers now. As you're ready, inhaling and exhale to pull it down. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath in, expand, and exhale. Notice as you send the weight overhead, can you keep the ribs, the low belly integrated? So there might be a tendency to want to puff the low ribs or really exaggerate the arc in the low spine. Can you keep that integrated? So shortening the distance between pubic bone and navel. Last few reps here. Really pressing into the feet to stabilize the base so that you can focus on the upper body. And here we go. We're in our rest phase here. Grab your second weight. This is the last round here in this set of 3 for chest press. So lowering down and press up. Down and press up. Nice work. Here we go. So we're doing each pair of movements 3 times through. For a total of 30 minutes. We're really working these movement patterns back to back. So that you can move into the exhaust phase of the muscles, allowing the muscles to break down and repair. That helps build lean muscle. Back to the pullover here, last round in this first circuit. Pulling down on the exhale. Inhaling, take the weight overhead. And pull down and back. Here we go. Overhead and back down. Keep your core engaged, the soles of the feet pressing down. Start to feel the back working. Lots of space in the shoulders and neck, so all of the work is in the back. Last few reps here. And rest. So we'll get rid of the band here. We're just moving into a nice and slow sumo squat. So keep the weights in front of you, feet slightly out, heels slightly in, lowering down and back up. So as you come up, magnetize the heels toward each other like you're trying to pull them together. So activate the inner legs and create more strength, a more efficient movement pattern in these sumo squats. If you can, slow it down. I find myself kind of hurrying through as it gets heavy, but instead, can you slow it down? On the way up and on the way down. Pressing the knees out, tracking over the ankles, and back up. 3, 2, 1. Releasing the weights. This is kind of, we've got 2 rounds of a standing movement pattern here before going back to the floor. We're in our deadlifts now, sumo deadlifts. So again, the stance is a bit wider, and we're hinging at the hips. The weights come straight down, and then press through the heels to lift up. Lower down, and then press through the heels. So there's a slight bend in the knees on the way down. You're hinging at the hips and lifting up with power. Again, these movements can be very slow so that you're keeping the work under tension all the way through. A few more reps here. Stay spacious in the chest and shoulders. Notice if you start to sort of crouch over, can you counter that with some activation in the back of the heart? And 10-second rest, here we go. We're moving back to our sumo squat, nice and slow as you're ready. Toes slightly out, heels slightly in. Magnetize the feet together on the way up during the exertion phase. So you'll feel that activation that we created in the glutes in the first movement pattern that's benefiting us here. The glutes are ready. They've already been prepped and they're ready for this movement. So squatting, this is very, very similar to the sumo deadlift, but we're just sitting back into the heels, more of a squat. It's less of a hip hinge and more of a squat. Release the weights down. We'll shift into that sumo stance deadlift here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hinging at the hips and lifting up. So the weights come down in a straight line and back up in a straight line. Lowering down and lifting back up. Inhaling on the way down and exhaling on the exertion. And back up. Here we go. This is our second round. We've got one more round of this pair, and then we'll move into the floor work once again. I notice I have to catch myself with my pace. I tend to accelerate as the interval goes on and rest. And then we're back to that squat. Last round like this, lowering down and back up. So as you come up, magnetize the heels toward each other like you're trying to pull them together. Full body strength to support you through your menstrual phase. So a lot of the late luteal and flow day movement practices are very gentle. And we've had lots of requests for how to tap into your strength even as you're on your flow. And so this is a great way to do that, using intentional, slow and steady movement patterns. 3, 2, and 1. Release the weights down. Get ready once again for the deadlift. Here we go. Deadlift, down and back up. Lower down and back up. Once again, slowing down as you can and back up. Looking at my notes here at what's coming next. Last few reps. So I mentioned we'd be going down to the floor. We have one more pair of movement patterns standing before we go back down to our mat. So this one, we're just going to be in a static bicep curl with a curtsy. So we're here, curtsy and together, alternating sides. So tapping in to that static, steady strength while holding the bicep curl. Curtsy lunge, one side to the other. Few more reps. The weight starts to get heavy. Here we go. You can slow it down if you like. And rest. So our next movement will be alternating a step forward lunge with a twist. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're stepping forward, press and twist, and come back. Step forward, press and twist, and back together. Step forward, press, rotate. So as you rotate, the same side arm can bend. You can even keep both arms bent if the weight starts to feel a bit heavy. Or drop the weights all together, or try a lighter dumbbell. Press and twist. Here we go. Forward, press, and twist. All right. We're back to that static curtsy, static bicep curl as we alternate in a curtsy lunge. So bring it up. Here we go. Curtsy and together. Curtsy and together. Here we are. And together. So notice if you're gripping through the shoulders or maybe even through your fingers, what can you do to take out any excess effort? Here we are. A few more reps. 3, 2, and 1. Shake out the arms. We're moving back to our step forward lunge with a press and twist. Single dumbbell here. Here we go. Step forward. So for this round, I'm going to bring the weight in to twist rather than keeping it extended. That feels a little bit more sustainable for this portion of the workout and with the weight selection that I made. If you can, however, rotate with the weight extended, by all means, challenge yourself. If the weight is starting to feel a bit heavy, slow down the pace. Focus on your position in the legs here. Knees over ankles, back hip over knee. And rest. Moving back to that curtsy lunge with the static bicep curl. So for me, in this round, I'm just going to hold a single weight rather than using both, which was feeling a bit past my limit in the last interval. We're here. The last round like this. Stepping back and up. Alternating sides here. Nice thing with one dumbbell is you can sort of rest it in the palms, so no need to grip with excess force. 3, 2, and 1. Last round of our step forward lunge with a press and rotation. Again, your choice how you practice. If you want to extend in the rotation or pull the weights in. Here we go. Step forward, press. I'm bringing them close to the body to rotate. Here we go. Step forward, press, back, and rotate. Forward, press, back, and rotate. This is the last standing exercise here. So really stay with it. Challenge your breath. Last few reps, press and rotate. And rest. So now we're lowering back down to the mat onto your belly. First movement pattern is a superwoman. So nice and easy. We're going to add a bit in the arms. So drawing them back, elbows to your sides. You can keep this just in the upper body if you like, or you can add the legs. Really engaging the rivers of the spine. Such a beneficial movement pattern for posture. Again, keeping the tension out of your neck, out of your jaw. Three, 2, 1. From here, take your knees out wide. Bring the heels to touch, maybe even inner edges of the feet. You can rest your forehead or an ear on the mat. And from here, we're just lifting the heels. And you can create an isometric hold at the top to really activate the glutes. So this is very similar to the activation we did in a butterfly posture in a supine position. Now, just engaging a bit of the lower back in this prone movement pattern. Last few rounds here. Reps, excuse me. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. We've got 10 seconds of rest, then we're moving back into our Superwoman movement pattern. So as you're ready, reaching the arms overhead, and on the exhale, lifting up. So I'm gonna alternate here between upper body and lower body, but you choose the path that's right for you. So you can do several reps with both, and then isolate either upper body or lower body. You should start to feel this working all the way along the spine, both channels left and right. And you even start to engage the belly a bit. 3, 2, and 1. So bringing the knees out wide once again, letting the inner edges of the feet come together. 3, 2, 1. Lift the heels, isometric hold, and lower down. Try not to let the knees crash on the way down. Slow and controlled on the way up. And then as you descend, up and back down. Here we go. We've got one more round after this to complete our 30-minute workout. Total body strength to support you during your menstrual phase. And these movement patterns in the prone position can be especially helpful if you're still having any residual cramps. It can help encourage healthy flow. And rest. So we have one more round of each movement pattern on our belly, and then we'll shift into our cool down. 3, 2, 1. Superwoman, here we go. Up and back down. So really making an effort to keep this movement out of the neck. Focus on the back and even the glutes.
29 seconds remaining. Heart rate 100.
We're coming to the end of our workout. She's letting me know. Last few reps. And rest. Here we are, our last round. Bring the knees wide, heels touch. For froggers, here we go. Lifting and lowering. You can create that isometric hold at the top and lower down. Keep the hip points grounded. And then any position that you need in the upper body to take the effort out of the neck, out of the shoulders. Keep it in the lower body, in the glutes. You're almost there. Stay with it till the end. 25 more seconds. This glute work can be very beneficial for alleviating lower back pain by creating strength in the glutes to support your body in motion and even when you're stationary. And rest. Very well done. Bring one ear to the mat. Let your feet windshield wiper side to side here. So I hope that you will be able to join us for our cool down. But if you're transitioning in your own way to the rest of your day, I thank you so much for joining us in this part of your cycle, for letting your body be moved. And we'll transition to our cool down now. So we're shifting now into our cool down space. We'll start in Sphinx. So the forearms parallel, palms pressing down. Really root down through the hip points. Just create some space across the front of the heart. We'll begin with a prone hip opener. Let your left knee slide out to the side. Let it bend about 90 degrees, so ankle aligned with the knee. And allow there to be some heaviness in the left hip point. So it's really trying to anchor down to the mat. You might feel a lot of sensation here. If it's too much, you can always come down, rest your forehead on the earth. If you need a little bit more, you can start to come up onto fingertips in more of a cobra shape in the upper body. At the same time that you're feeling that sensation in the left side, really reach back through the right leg and activate that leg for support. So as you breathe, Notice your body's first reaction to the sensation. There's a bit of gripping. And then through the exhales, can you just allow something to release, something to relax? Coming down in your own way, let your right ear find the mat. Rest here for a moment and just allow the sensation of that deep awakening to dissipate. You might even offer a bit of gentle massage to the hip, the glute. And then we'll begin to exchange sides, letting the left leg extend long. Now the right knee presses out. Once again, starting with the forearms down and noticing each step of the way. How does your body react to the first sensation? So each step of the way, each breath of the way, relaxing into the shape. If you need a bit more, you can come up onto the hands. And you'll notice with this deep psoas awakening, you might start to feel it in the lower back. The psoas connects to the back of the spine. So it's all interconnected. As we work to create strength and space, we are supporting lower back comfort. We're supporting core integration and just general energetic flow throughout the trunk of the body. As you're ready, releasing left ear down, resting for a moment, allowing that sensation to dissolve. And then slowly extend both legs out long. Create a bit of space if you have some equipment in your path for your right arm to extend out to the side. Press your left fingertips down and just start to roll over that right side. You can let your right ear be heavy. Maybe bend into the left knee. Bring that foot down. So this is a bit of rotation in the spine, but mostly it's to create space and sensation in the chest, in the right arm. And let your breath be slow, intentional, connected, integrated. Come back through center without rush. Extend your left arm long. Right fingertips touch down. Begin to spin the heart, the front of the body toward the sky. Let your left ear be heavy. The right toes, right foot pressed down into the mat. And then coming back through center. We'll enjoy a bit of a quad stretch here. So from Sphinx pose, just reaching for the right foot. You might take this in a fully prone position. Because a lot of that shape that we created, you might still have a lot of sensation in the low back, so just give it a rest here. And switch as you're ready to the left side. Pressing the hip points down, hugging heel toward the sitting bone. And release. Slowly start to roll onto your back. Hug the knees into chest. And just gently kind of roll out any sensation that remains in the lower back. You might find that you feel this a bit throughout the day. And just let that awareness keep you integrated, keep you conscious of your mind and body. And cross your right leg over left, and then reach for the outer edges of both feet. This might create a lot of sensation and that's okay. You can explore having the heels close to your body or further away. And just gentle rocks side to side. Exchanging sides now. And pay attention to any difference you feel from the left to the right. Noticing that even from one moment to the next, your body is changing. Your inner chemistry is changing. That is the beauty of being a woman, is that no 2 days, no 2 cycles are alike. And it is the great gift. And then slowly letting the feet come down, windshield wiper the legs a bit side to side, preparing for a minute or 2 of rest at the end of this workout. Find a comfortable shape, maybe cobbler in the legs, the feet together, knees apart. Or you might bring the knees together, feet apart, maybe even legs up the wall if you have a wall nearby. Let your hands connect on your body anywhere they land naturally. When you're at the beginning, the early stages of a new cycle, or maybe you're in a different phase, in a different stage, and just welcoming some slow and steady strength. Wherever you are, what is it that you are creating? What are you making space in your body, in your mind, in your heart for? As you're ready, welcoming awareness back into your body. These rest periods, albeit somewhat short, can be incredibly restorative. Just to give yourself enough pause to collect your thoughts, your attention. And slowly come up to a comfortable seat. And as we close our practice together, I want to share my deepest thanks, my deepest gratitude with you for bringing your strength, your attention, your energy to this practice today, and for being a part of this collective of women who move by the moon.